Well, welcome back to the Mendota Ranch. So we did a little story on my Barndominium, how I built it, and we got a ton of comments, a ton of views, and everybody wanted to see the inside. And we had a lot of nice comments of people asking to see the inside. So for those people that asked me nicely, here you go. Started at the inside, so come on in. First thing I want to show you is how thick the walls are. You know, I told you how thick they were. This is how thick they are. So essentially we've got a pipe with a 12-inch C-purlin, tin, rock, and then on this side we have to put a layer of wood. And the reason why, because we put sheetrock on, and sheetrock will crack because the steel moves too much. So you got to put a layer of something crappy in there, and so wood fits the bill. And then we put the trim or the wood on the outside to make it look pretty. So come on in, let's start looking at it. This is the living room. So this is my grandson, Easton. Can you say hi, Easton?
Hi.
And tell him what you got right there. Helicopter?
Helicopter.
A little bird?
A little bird.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So the ideal of the whole house is to, you want the barn feel. So you want it pretty open. Something kind of neat, the old chandelier. The chandelier, I found a guy that was working on my wagon. I was back there digging through his stuff, and I found that wagon wheel back there. And from there I went to Home Depot and got some extra chandeliers and welded that thing up. And the chains holding the chandeliers are actually off some harness I had. The harness was had some tugs on, some chain tugs instead of leather, so I used them. So I wanted it wide open because I want to be able to put, our mounts up here. The neat thing about most of these deer are the sheds. So y'all seen how I pick up the sheds? This deer on the end down here, he's on that G2, he's called kickstand. He got a little kickstand, and that's what we called him. We called him kickstand, and we've got his antlers all the way up to his skull when he died. So he actually died of old age out here. But we got, y'all seen it too, we'll be adding to these. One of the things, if you come in here to the kitchen, one of the things that we've done, this is my wife, Bonnie. Have you said hi, Bonnie? This is my wife, Bonnie, and all she requested was a bigger stove. I said, well, you go get whatever stove you want. And so she bought this stove. Of course, Bonnie's a great cook. But one of the things that I restricted her on, which it wasn't very hard, is the cabinets. So I wanted the cabinets to be nothing exotic. So we said anything you can find at Home Depot or Lowe's, we're good. Because the problem you get into is you get these fancy cabinets and then they get a little wet, well then you can't find a replacement for them. So being able to just keep it simple was kind of our goal here. Another thing that we do is the water lines. The reason I put the sink here, the washer and dryer is right on the other side of the wall. So the sink had to be here because all the plumbing is in this wall, and it goes upstairs to the master bathroom. So out here it gets cold in the wintertime, and you don't want to have plumbing on the outside of your outside wall. So I had everything in here. So the plumbing from upstairs comes down this wall, catches this sink, the washer and dryer, and then goes out to the septic system. We got on the other side of the house the same exact way. Septic comes up from the basement into the upstairs bathroom and then goes out. Real simple, real clean, nothing freezes, no problems. So the floors here are stamped concrete. We've had some problems with these floors. Some of the things that we see, so here's something that I'd change, like the calcium come up under the seal. So like that right there, you can't get rid of. So right there. So that was, for some reason, gave us some trouble, but we might cover it. It's concrete, so you can always throw tile on top of it, but we did have some issues with that concrete, and that's part of it. You live and learn. This is one of the guys that helped me, he carved this out of, this is one solid piece of mesquite. So this is our main dining room table. So essentially it has the deer and the caprock and kind of the terrain of the ranch right around here. So 4th of July, a guy showed up that brought us this table but didn't have any legs on it. So I had my brand made for the legs. So let's start with kind of what we'd call the kids' bedrooms. We got a bathroom here, and we got a bedroom on either side. So these floors are stamped concrete too. I know they look like wood, but they are stamped concrete. So come on out and I'll show you the next room downstairs here. So something that's real important is, this is kind of a junk room, but we call this the mechanic room. So everything that comes into this house, electrically, everything, or heat and air, all the computers, everything comes into one room. So instead of having stuff scattered here and there, it all comes into one room. So say if we lose our electricity, then we switch electricity right here to the generator. Is all done right here too. So kid-wise, I've got 2 kids. I've got Luke and Maddie. Both of them are in their mid-20s. Maddie's got 1 kid, Easton, right here, walking in behind us, and then another one will be here in another month. So really these bedrooms were kind of started out, Maddie, look, would you get another helicopter? You got 2 little birds. And so Easton, is this where you sleep? Is that your room?
Yep. See, here's my room. And I'll show you the cool helis in the bathroom.
Show them these cool helis.
Whoopsie. Whoopsie daisy. I'll show you the helis in the drawer.
He doesn't want to go in there and see those. All right, you've been stinking it up in there, huh?
Look at this, I got 2 helis.
All right, so before we go downstairs, upstairs, let's go downstairs. And we talked about this bathroom here, how the plumbing is kind of like the same deal. It's not on the outside wall. It's right above the bathroom in the basement. And so the reason we do that is we stack all the plumbing together, comes up and out and into the septic system. So let's go downstairs and I'll show you that. All right, so we're partway down the stairs here, and I was explaining how all this wall, this is concrete, steel concrete, and then we've got this big door here that can be closed off. It's a very heavy door, solid steel, something we just made for closing this off for whatever reason we need to close it off, or whether it be tornado, anything like that. Down here you're safe. So come on down, follow me on down. So we're pretty far down right now. This is about as far as I could go down before I hit the water table. So the water table is not much farther down, but you can come down here and stay. This is all solid concrete up top. And like I said, if you got a basement, you might as well put a bathroom, because you got to put a pump in case it ever floods. So you might as well just put a bathroom down here. So we've got a full bath down here. I got a light switch. Full bath down here. And so that's pretty much it. This is kind of the catch-all room, catches all the junk. We got that part, which all do not have security clearance to get past that door, and so that's where the important stuff is. But so the basement is, I just wanted you to see how stout the basement is and how deep we are actually under the earth. You ready to go, Easton? All right, go. All right, so we're not all the way upstairs. There's multiple layers here, so there's more up here. This is kind of my office and kind of a lounge still here. So here's a kind of a cool deal here. So this is a wagon wheel. We put, I saw a buddy of mine had one of these, so we built one. Got a little plexiglass on it. But this is some of the artifacts that we find here on the ranch. Metal arrowheads, the flint arrowheads, bracelets. One of the neat things that we found is this here. This is all this here was one camp, Bonnie and I found it, and it's all 45-70 rounds. So essentially it was a buffalo camp, and they were reloading their ammo. And with all this, we found a knife, coffee cup, and also found an 1870 nickel. So it was a pretty fun deal. Bonnie and I metal detecting out there and found all that. So it just right up here, and it was how we found it was I was flying around in a helicopter, and I saw this wagon trail. So when you get in the air, you can see like old wagon trails. And I told Bonnie, I said, we got wagon trail right here. So we get out there at the metal detectors, and there's a rock out of place. And we walk up to that rock, and sure enough, it's going crazy. So we dug all that up in 2 hours. It's pretty neat. Just some cool stuff here. Here's some deer that were locked up. Luke came, shot them both, locked up. This is the first deer I shot over 2,000 meters away. I've got another one. The other one I shot was at 3,290 meters, so it'll go right here. Some of our horse show pictures, when we were showing cutting horses. This is an old picture here. This is my great granddad, W.W. Lewis, right there. And so this is a picture of the ranch just to the north of us in 1890. It's on Isaac's Ranch, and they were out doing branding or something. So since he lost most of his ranch in the 30s, and since then we bought it back. This is the office, Bonnie's office and my office.
There's my RD-44.
That's my R44.
No.
So this is some of the stuff that we've.
That RD-44 here. So sorry.
Oh, this was that steer that we cloned for West Texas A&M. This was when he was younger, and of course he's grown up. He's a bull now, and some stuff they gave me, and just some other little stories. So we were doing a lot of cool stuff with the embryos and everything, and I said, well, I can get a mule pregnant doing all this stuff. And so this was the first mule ever to get pregnant, carrying a non-cycling mule, and she carried a quarter horse. And so the funny thing is, I got this all done, and then I folded out of Colorado State because they didn't believe it. I didn't believe anybody could do that. So Colorado State folded out for me, and they said, oh, that mule's gonna kill the baby, it won't milk. Well, she raised the baby, she milked, she did everything. It's a perfect quarter horse. And then the people that had the patent on cloning, they saw this article, and then they call me up, and that's how I kind of got involved with cloning. They go, hey, can you help us out? We're having a little bit of trouble. Of course, this was back in, 2006 or something. And so that's kind of how I got into cloning. I got a mule pregnant, so. So this is kind of my hangout in the evenings when I'm winding down. Not that I drink that much, but I've got a bar in case I got friends that like to drink. It's a pretty neat deal. You can sit right up here if somebody's working horses. You can sit up here and talk on the phone and look out the arena. And then also you can look out the helicopter hangars here, mesquite wood that we cut up with the chainsaw. Right up here on this brand new floor, they're cutting it up. Some of these brands, so this W.W. Lewis, this was my great granddad's brand, and his ranch is just to the south of us here. And so then my granddad, Maloof Abraham, took that brand and flipped it upside down, and that was his brand. And then when we were in college, my 3 brothers and my granddad all partnered up, and we called it the 4A. So that was it. That was that brand, Abraham Investments, and then this is my brand. Okay, come on back here. Keep coming. So like I said, everything's built out of pipe and steel. The floors are concrete even up here. This is solid concrete here, isn't it, Easton? It is solid. We got another half bath here. We had a funny little crook here, so some of the trophies we win, belt buckles and spurs, and this made a good little spot for that. And this is my bedroom, or our Bonnie and I's bedroom. And so the ideal reason I wanted it like this was I wanted the bedroom to feel like we're in a hayloft. So it's wide open there, so we're looking out at the ranch. It's a great view. It makes you feel like you're in the top of an old barn or something. Then you got your master bathroom here. Master bathroom is pretty simple, nothing fancy here. Simple bathroom. I've got my closet in the bathroom, shower, laundry hamper. Laundry goes down to it drops downstairs into the laundry room. Like I said, all the plumbing from up here goes down the back of the sink wall and out. There's nothing fancy. Underneath where we're at right now, the reason we have it up so high is because it's not only is it a garage, but it's a breezeway. There's a big breezeway right here that goes into the indoor arena. So we're looking southwest here is the direction we're looking, and that's the way the wind normally blows, is out of the southwest. So we open the garage door and we get a good breeze all the way through here and into the indoor arena. And it keeps everything nice and cool. And it's got to be big because we got to be able to get equipment in there. So it's pretty simple. The ceiling here, we got corrugated steel on the bottom side. And the reason we got corrugated is I wanted to make you really feel like you're in a barn. So above it is 12-inch purlin, and that 12-inch purlin is welded to the big 16-inch pipe. It's all blown in foam insulation, and then of course it's got steel on top. One thing I would change about it is when you got steel on top, steel C-purlin, and then steel screwed to it, man, any little ding on top, like you get a little bit of rain, it's carried from steel to steel to steel right into the house. So maybe next time if I did it again, I might put a little layer of wood just to kind of cushion the sound. I was thinking the insulation would cushion it, but man, it's loud. No, but it doesn't rain much here. We get 21 inches of rain a year, but man, the day that 21 inches comes, it's freaking loud in here. So that's one thing I might change besides the concrete. But insulation wise, so while we're talking about insulation, so another thing the way I designed it was the indoor arena is north of us. So in the wintertime, when you get these big north winds, the indoor arena and the hangar block that cold air blowing in out of the north. We get those 40, 50 mile an hour winds blowing out of the north. You actually have a layer of building in between you. So the house is exposed to the south and southwest, and then to the east. Of course, we don't get much wind out of the east, and the southwest is the sun and the wind. So the utilities, with as much insulation we've got in this house and everything, is maybe $150 a month. It's pretty dang cheap. It's cheaper than our old house. Now, building this house, everybody's gonna be asking, what do you got in a square foot? I really don't know, and even if I did know, I probably wouldn't tell you. But it's so much of it I did myself, and so much of it was designed by me and done by me that it's kind of a hard number to come up with. But the other ideal of the house is to be able to you hope for the best, but you plan for the worst, right? So I plan for the worst here, whether it be we have big grass fires, we have bad weather, and even if you got bad people, this house here, you're gonna be pretty dang safe. It's gonna be a good place to be hanging out with. Not that I'm worried about, I'm not scared of anything, and the reason I'm not scared is because I'm prepared. It's easy as that. All right, so now you've seen the inside of my Barndominium, my Bombproof Barndominium. You've seen the inside. I hope there's something you like. I hope you got some questions for me. I'm sure you do. Just send me a comment. I'll answer them all. Follow me on Instagram on the Mendota Ranch, and subscribe and like. Thank you.